India is soon going to have a new player in the aviation sector, with the billionaire Rakesh Jhunjhunwala starting a new airline by roping in veterans of the airline industry like Vinay Dube and Aditya Ghosh. Akasa Air will launch its operations with its brand new Boeing 737 MAX planes in July, and it promises to change the way the airline business is done in India. Here's a snippet of our interview with the CEO of this new Akasa Air.
The next question that I'm going to ask, perhaps you're the best person to answer that question. As an airline veteran, and I'd like to ask you, what is the biggest mistake that carriers or airlines in India make?
So sure, happy to give you my perspective, but just remember, you ask 5 airline people this question, you might get 6 different answers. So be ready for mine to be one of many. But given my experience, and by the way, I want to answer this question just for India, although I'll say that my answer applies, very directly to India as well. I see 3 big sort of errors that airlines have made through the ages across the world. And by the way, I'm leaving out the basics of, run your operation well, be on time, serve customers with warmth. I'm leaving those, fundamentals out of this answer. And the 3 sort of mistakes that I have seen airlines around the world make are, having an uncompetitive cost structure, which is, one of the fundamentals of Akasa is that we will have a competitive cost structure. The second one is to not have a well-capitalized balance sheet. And this is where I referred to, Akasa being and having a well-capitalized balance sheet with marquee investors. And then the third one is lacking over a period of time capacity discipline. And this is something that is less talked about, but is a mistake global carriers have made, through the decades across the world. And these are things that I think we ought to be cognizant and aware of in making sure we don't make these same mistakes.
Indigo is expanding and growing and launching new routes is at a phenomenal pace. How are you going to be different from the market leader, and what do you mean by capacity discipline?
Sure. So capacity discipline, by the way, first differs from one country to the other. In the United States, capacity discipline might be a growth of 1 or 2%. In India, it might be a growth of 15%. So this is not something that, is the same from one place to the other. And so there's not, much more, I'll say, in defining it. I think each, airline has to find their space in terms of what makes sense for them. As far as our competitors, are concerned, honestly, at this point, I will say we're not focused on our competitors. We're focused on ourselves.